Okay, so now we're coming through a bridge, and as we've seen from a lot of the viral videos, this is where it can go spectacularly wrong. Now I've got a little bit of tide behind me pushing me towards that bridge, and I need to be careful, because if I don't get this right and I start heading towards one of those concrete piers, I'm going to end up sideways onto that concrete pier. So the rule of thumb is get yourself lined up nice and early and get minimum steerage speed. Depending on what type of vessel you're on, depends on what speed you need to come through. But I'm just idling forward, get the pivot point on the vessel right in between the two piers and just coast on through. There we go. Keep her in gear. Try not to get too slow that you lose steerage. Right in the middle and easy peasy. Now I'm going to show you what would happen if I get this wrong. A lot of people tend to faff around here a little bit or get caught by the wind, and then the tide pushes them down onto that big nasty concrete pier here. Never go forward to get away from this with the tide behind you. Always reverse back. Now you can hear the engine rev. Yeah, she's revving a bit. I needed that rev because I got a built-in increase in tide behind me pushing me into that bridge. But rev away, reverse into the current or the wind, whatever's pushing into that pier, reverse straight back into it. Lots of distance away for the bridge to kind of just realign. Heaps and heaps of distance behind. Line yourself back up and get yourself back underneath. Now the reason we need so much room away from the bridge to pull ourselves so far away from the bridge is because as soon as I go into neutral now, that wind and the tide is going to immediately start pushing me back down, and I need some wiggle room to get the boat straight. So here we go. We'll get her through correctly this time. I'm well far enough away from the bridge. Kick her into forwards. You can see now the wind is pushing me all over the place, so I just need to get that back under control. That's why I need this room. I need to do some S-turns here to get the pivot point into the middle of the two piers. There we go. Need that little bit of speed just to get the boat under control. Get her lined up. Back to minimal steerage speed. So just for information, I'm doing 3 knots here. I've got the pivot point beautifully lined up in between the two concrete piers and just coast on through at 3 knots. Lovely. And once she's lined up, nothing will go wrong as long as you've lined her up properly and you've judged your drift correctly down between the two piers. Nice. Always check your air draft as well, obviously, as you're coming through the bridge. Make sure you've lowered your antennas and make sure the tide isn't so high that you're going to clip the top of the boat to the bridge anyway underneath. Yeah, but that's that, and nice and easy.